Welcome everybody to the round table, brought to you by Lzuruha. I'm Daddy P Not 3D, joined by Carnage64 and Worky. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing good, Dan. How about you?
A little under the weather, so you guys are going to be doing most of the talking, but you know a lot more about what we're going to talk about than I do, so that's perfectly okay. Why don't you take us right into the attacks?
All right. Well, you sound a lot better, Dan, but I hope you get better soon.
Yes.
The first thing I want to look at is our attacks were fairly odd. We just had a new patch that did a retweak on loons, like balloons and lava looting are a very big Town Hall 9 attack right now, and it's affected it quite drastically. So we're going to look at your first attack. This is your alternate account, Worky Blitz. And so we're going to go into replay one right now. Just kind of walk me through what went wrong here with the lava.
So it all started out all right. He's got the air blowers in the core, which makes it a bit tricky to deal with, as well as having all the ADs centered in the core. The biggest problem was the key to firing off the lava loon is you got to try and get that queen as soon as possible. And with the new update and the fact that these balloons are dropping their bombs on average about a second slower than they normally would, they weren't able to clean up the enemy towers, etc., as fast as they normally would. And so by the time they got around to the last set of air defenses, all the hounds were toast. So it started off all right. I'm bringing everything in the right way. I've got the first hound popped, the second hound's about to pop. Everything was looking good. And then the loons just aren't doing work.
It kind of runs out of steam.
The loons just aren't doing work. They aren't moving from one tower to the next nearly as fast as they do before. And with this new update, I just think this attack is pretty much obsolete at this point, except for specific bases that are really badly set up for an air defense.
Right.
And so,
because they didn't get all the air defenses down before they.
Yep. As soon as that last hound popped, it was done because the queen is just gonna clean the rest of this up.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can fast forward through it a little bit at 4 times and see. I mean, it's still a minute that the little,
but they can't do nothing.
Okay. Yeah. So the next one I also want to look at is my hit. Which I hit the same base, but I saw your hit and I'm like, okay, well, if Lava Loon's not going to work, maybe they still have a place as kind of like a little burster, so I did a Dragon Loon kind of hybrid, and that also did not work out so well, so we'll go into that right now. And so my thought here was to try and get a 2-star at least. So I wanted to take out the 2 closest air defenses to where I was going to hit, because I didn't expect to actually get to...
Okay, so that's what you were trying to do. Trying to play it safe and get. I was a little confused when I watched your attack, but you say you're trying to play it safe. The war was looking pretty good. That a 2-star would have been enough to help us into getting our win.
Right. I was like, that was my hope, is that I could just at least get to the center and not have any of the dragons die to the air defense. And those sweepers, they do play a big key to it. That being in the core, it's tough. So what I try to do now is distract the sweepers and maybe take it out with these balloons and the lava hound. But the lava hound just died way too quick.
Yeah, he got destroyed.
And the balloons just never made it anywhere. They just
those sweepers are just well placed, and honestly, your better bet would have been to zap quake one of the sweepers probably.
Yeah, I think so, probably. In hindsight, obviously, but I didn't think it was going to go
right. You thought your hound and loon combo would be able to sneak in there and get one of them.
Yeah, that's all I was wanting. I just wanted one, not much. But so it didn't. That didn't.
So
work.
2 miserably failed air attacks by us.
Yeah, and I think as we've thought that air is looking kind of bad now for Town Hall 9. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. I've been of the opinion for a while that air's been dying down, and with this new update hurting the balloons, and dragons have been kind of rough for a while now. I'm almost completely done with air attacks unless I'm hitting a Town Hall 8 or a low 9. I
Right.
like basically can beat guaranteed because they don't have the AD to block an attack. I won't be trying any bases with level 7 air defenses and expos pointed up or stuff like that with the Lava Luna anymore.
Yeah, and I think even that base, I wasn't really paying attention, but I don't even think it had.
No, it didn't. That's why I was like, oh, this should be doable because in 3 weeks ago in Wars, that was almost a lock for a Lava Loon 3-star.
Right. What do you think, Dan? Looking at those, kind of whack
Makes
now?
me a little scary to jump back into the game. I've been off
Right.
for a little bit, and that's pretty much how I attack everything. So that's a little scary.
Yeah. You'll have to start upgrading your ground. I've got my ground almost fully upgraded to start doing just purely ground hits. So what we're gonna do now is look at that exact same base again, but working on your main, you did a ground hit that 3-starred. So let's see the big difference.
Yeah, I
here.
used.
All right, going into it right now.
I used my regular Gova Hobo here, so I've got bowlers in the CC, and this base, the design of it makes it ideal for using this attack to take down. There aren't very many walls to get through. Once I get past these expos here, the base is pretty much toast.
Right.
So I start with a little lure and then throw my golem out to distract the CC troops while my queen and witches clear them up. Set the other
Wizards.
queen and wizards clean them up, and then the other golem to basically lead the rest of the troops in through that jump spell. About to drop all my Vox and bowlers to follow them in. That's the toughest part of the attack right there. If you get the Vox and bowlers to follow that golem in, you're pretty much golden. I try and use one heal to keep as many bowlers alive as possible. Save the second heal for my hogs that I just dropped on the backside to try and clear the path for the bowlers. And then I used that second jump spell. It didn't really need that second jump spell where I did it. It does actually help out a little bit later.
Yeah, because
My plan was for the Vox to do what they're doing right about now, but
and they're jumping on the cross.
but I could have waited a while.
That did help a lot.
I needed to get that expo.
Yeah, well, the jump spells, luckily, though, last quite a bit, and if they're up, then they'll kind of gravitate towards it if it's helpful. So, yeah, it's not the worst spell. It's not like a heal where if you do it too early when there's no damage, it's pointless. But jump can last quite a little bit, and it's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, it just faded out. But yeah, and so then at that point, it's just bowlers cleaning up. The key to this attack is keeping your bowlers alive, taking out the queen and the expos as fast as possible. Those are your biggest targets. So.
All right. Well, very nice. Very big, very drastic difference.
It made it look very easy compared to our air attacks.
Yeah. All right, and now also we want to look at blitzes. You did another ground hit with Blitz on their number 8, and so let's take a look at this one. And you said this one was different. So what's? Oh yeah.
This is called the Witch Slap attack. I'm just learning this. This is only the second time I've done it. So you take 12 witches, 5 in each corner with 2 healers on them, and then a couple giants followed by 2 more witches, a wizard, and your CC full of bowlers. You use the outside groups to basically clean up the outside base stuff, and then what you want to do is use 2 jump spells to get your bowlers and your little strike team of 2 witches into the core to take out the expos. That is their job. The only job of those bowlers and those 2 witches is they need to take out both expos and the CC troops, also with the help of king and queen. If your strike team can get both expos and the CC units, the other witches with the 2 healers can clean up everything else without a problem. See, so you'll see this, it did not go well for me, actually. And there was only 1 expo to take down. Like, all my bowlers are gone. I should still have some bowlers left, but it doesn't matter because I got the expo.
Well, they got hit by a spring trap, so that's kind of RNG too, of like, Well, where was the trap and all that stuff? And the only problem I see with a hit like this is that you don't have a lot of throwaway units for those spring traps. So anything they spring is a very valuable.
Right. You got your 5 or 6 bowlers that fit in there, and if you lose them, you can be in trouble. But this was a very low level base for me to hit, which was why I wanted to try the new attack, because I knew it wouldn't be a problem. But it looked like it had failed completely, but these witches with the healers just are unkillable. The skeleton...
Yeah, that is actually absolutely
The skeletons
insane.
take all the damage, and as long as the healers don't get caught up by an air expo or an air defense, they will just last forever.
See, and witches are very squishy, but they're not squishy enough that one giant bomb I saw go off
they can
to
survive
kill
a giant bomb.
They can survive a giant bomb. And I mean, I've already leveled up my witches to level 2, so I might give this one a try soon. Would you say that they've kind of taken the concept of the Archer Queen walk and thrown it into witches?
That's exactly what it is. And there is a variation on this strategy that involves throwing the queen in with one of the pack of witches, depending on the base composition and what makes most sense. But yeah, my Workies witches will be hitting level 2, I believe, in a day or 2, and so that is my plan with him.
Awesome.
And I will be firing up blitzes as soon as I raise the Dark Elixir, because the level 2 witch definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, very cool looking hit. I look forward to doing that myself. You'll have to post on the forum a little strategy of like how many of each, like what should the composition look like. That would be kind of helpful for us to reference.
I posted one video on there, but I will post some more stuff. I keep looking at different attacks and people's stuff, so I will post that up there.
Yeah, I think some people would, like, for me personally, I would love to have just like a like little thing that I'm looking at, like just text of like, this is your comp, do it. You know what I mean? That would be
will
helpful.
put that up.
So, thank you. So now we're gonna look at our Town Hall 11 hits, and we'll look at Jarrett's first hit on their number 1. Let's take a look at this. This is another witch hit. Did they still call this the witch slap? Like, is it just
I think this is just. I'm not sure the actual name, but it's a witch and bowler hit, so it's some sort of combination name on that. Because there's more bowlers, I think they include that in the name. I'm not the most knowledgeable about the Town 11 strategy names and etc. But it's it's basically the same idea, except he's got more troops and he can build his own bowlers. So, having
build his own max bowlers.
Bowlers are pretty freaking awesome, and I love watching this attack.
I love how it just starts with the jump spells. Like, this is where we're going.
Because you don't have time to lay them down, which is what I'm actually going to have to start doing. I'm learning that laying the jump spells in between your troops is too much work, and it causes me to screw up.
Right, I think that you need to start leveling up the jump spells too, because they start off pretty, like, they don't last a long
Yeah, you want
time,
them max.
But these last like over 40 seconds, I think, so you can easily just throw them down early.
I think it's a minute is the time on the max jump spells, and I'm not sure what level mine are at Town Hall 9. I know I've got them leveled as high as you can at Town Hall 9, but I'm guessing that's 2.
Yeah, I need to do that.
I'd have to look to be sure.
It's a very fun looking game.
And this was an extremely tough base for Jar to go at. It's basically a max Town Hall 11, and for him to 2-star it is quite impressive. The same guy hit him and only got 1 star, and barely got that 1 star.
Yeah. And we will be showing that hit later, but also these guys are like, I think they have max units, like heroes, I should say. They have like max heroes. So these guys are not. These guys are not fooling around. This was not a gimme. Like, we've had a couple wars in the past where the Town Hall 11s we've gone against, they weren't as strong. Like, they still had some pink walls and things like that. And not everything was fully upgraded, but that was a really impressive hit on a very powerful base. Alright, last hit we're going to look at will be Dizzy's cleanup on their, again, I think it's another Town Hall 11, their number 2. So let's go into that right now. Another very strong base. Yeah, heroes are almost max. Queens at 40, heroes 31, wardens at 19.
So Diz is using basically the same attack and same strategy. She just wants the 2-star. So just basically got to get that town hall and she's good.
Looks like they're ignoring.
Yeah, they're turning now, but yeah, she almost lost a good portion of her bowlers, which could have been disastrous. But most of them seem to be following. The witches are coming in behind now, and perfect freeze spell timing.
Yeah, see, what I've noticed between like Jared and Tush is that they both have they know how to use those freeze spells. I've seen a lot of other people hit them and just not do the freeze spell either at all or at the right time on the Inferno Towers, and they're sitting there like going, "Oh crap! Why is everything melting?"
It is impossible to hit an Inferno Tower without a freeze. I've tried, and it's just death. It's so difficult to get past them.
So you gotta explain to me the Lava Hound in the CC. We've seen it now.
Yeah, and it actually killed my attack. Gosh, was it in this war? I think it was in this war. My hit with... No, it was the last war. I had a hit with Worky that was the Gova Hobo. And
you had no air to hit them.
my queen and my wizards failed to take down the Lava Hound because I tried to do a lure, and the lure failed, so instead I just had to go for it. And by the time I got into the base and was able to lure the Lava Hound,
yeah, I think I remember
it was too late and I had nothing left to kill it. And so it just slowly picked away at my bowlers until my attack died with like a 90%. And so what I said was that's how a Lava Hound kills you. If you don't take care of it, it can slowly kill you.
Right. Well, another very solid hit, and that really kind of gave us the lead in the war.
Yes, it did.
And now then it became time for our defense to hold it. So our first defense we're going to look at is actually our lower guys. They did not do a good job of cleaning our bottom. If you look, we have... Let's see, I want to count. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total stars in Town Hall 8s that they did not clean up.
And they they lost by 4, and that's bad planning on their part.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't, and not for lack of trying. There's a lot of these bases got hit more than once. Todd's base had to get hit 4 times, for example. So there was a lot of things that happened. So let's look at Kinoe's 1-star defense against Fallen Angel. Let's see what Fallen Angel was trying to do. Just a dragon hit 2. I mean, I don't.
He just picked the worst spot.
They don't know what to do.
Oh no!
Well, it's like as we've showed It's like Dan. It's like when you first started playing this game. You're like, there they go, just put them all out in the same spot.
Do not stand dragons.
Oh my god!
That baby drag's gonna kill those balloons, and then
and kill the dragons now.
That baby drag is doing work. It is still unharmed, and now it's gonna start picking off one dragon at a time. Oh, I love those baby dragons. But yeah.
Yeah, we need to make sure like that we have those leveled up when we're throwing them in the...
Yep, I'm gonna actually upgrade Worky's baby dragons real soon here, as soon as the witch is done. Because right now it's only, I think, Dizzy and Jarrett that have the max baby dragons ever. Well, Fabian actually has level 2 ones as well, so he can donate max, but we'll be doing a couple Town Hall 9 only wars, so I'm going to try and upgrade mine.
Yeah, I was going to upgrade mine, but then when we saw the update and saw that, oh god, I got to switch to ground, you told me I need to start upgrading.
And that's more important.
My giants are.
But yeah, I'm planning to get those max baby drags for CC. So yeah, he didn't even touch a single air defense.
Yeah, that was just really bad. So now let's look at Mega Man's defense against their number 8. Another solid. Let's jump into it. Let's see. This is a ground hit, so it's not an air hit. So let's see. this, by all accounts, I mean, he's using 14 Valks. If done right, this should 3-star, right?
Yeah, I mean he's got the quad quake, which I prefer the jump personally, but the quad quake can work just fine. It's just a matter of funneling those Valks into the base, and then it's almost a guaranteed 3-star.
And what I don't get is these guys don't seem to know how to deal with the baby.
Like,
dragon.
why didn't he drop that giant first? He could have saved himself 4 wizards if he had dropped that giant first.
Or drop more wizards at the start. Like,
he underestimated everything. Oh, and his wall breakers almost failed. And why has he not used his quad quake? There it is. Okay. I was like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Okay, so he needs to clean up the air. Oh no, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 Valks he just lost there. And at this point, he should have dropped them all, and they should all be raged by now.
See, when you do Valks, do you want to drop them all?
I want them all in the same spot.
Gotcha. So you do it much differently with Valks.
I mean, you could split them into 2 groups, but for the most part, you want them clumped together because you want them to be all swinging on one building. Well, multiple buildings at a time, ideally, because what they'll do is they'll run around and stand between as many buildings as they can and spin and hit them all at the same time. And you want that hit. You want them to only have to spin once. So you want packs of 4 to 6 Valks hitting buildings at a time.
They got 2 split up, and now he only had 1 healing potion. So, like, I've experimented and seen that Valk seem to kill walls really quick. Would it not have been better to have 2 more healing potions and just let the Valks break walls?
Yes, I mean, the walls in this base are not high level for that. He could have cut through them better. If he really was concerned about walls, he could have used a jump and got 1 more heal. But yeah, I personally probably would have gone 2 heals and 2 rage, or 2 heals, a rage, and a jump.
Right. Okay. That was another good defense by Megan. Now another big defense, a very important one, was Miss Fortier's defense on their number 6. This is a higher level hit than we were looking at Town Hall 8. But this is also her second defense. Her first defense was a really big shutdown on another lava loon hit, and we didn't want to show it because we've already shown some lava loon fails and air fails. So let's see her defense on this, which is a much stronger attack with wizards, valkyries, and golems.
So we got level 4 Valks. I mean, that's a really strong troop composition. Also went with the quad quake, which, as we just saw and said, that might not be the best strategy. But let's see how this goes.
So he's opening up the
so set. Okay, so that's a good open. So what's going to happen here, I'm guessing, is he just wasted about 20 seconds, and that is why he's going to fail. Because it was a 97%, and I think he's going to run out of time here. But we'll see what happens.
Well, those wizards are...
That was a very well-built funnel right there. The base is wide open, and this is almost a perfect execution of a Govaho at this point.
Yeah.
Now he's just got to deal with the CC troops that are coming out slowly, and he rages, which is going to make those wizards just crush the CC troops. The dragon's still doing some damage, but he eventually got
Finally
it.
went down, yeah.
And he put down 1 heal to make sure to keep that group of Valks alive. And
I do like what Kari did there. She has a right by her bomb tower.
Double bombs.
Double giant bombs. So that's a triple whammy of explosion. So all those Valks are weak, and he has no healing. So I don't think it's gonna come. I don't know if it's gonna come down in time. It might come down to those 4
I think you're right. That
Tesla
Tesla farm's gonna take care of them. And ultimately that bomb drop with the bomb tower probably killed about 5 or 6 Valkyries, and I think weakened all of them. And I think that's gonna be the changing point. So let's see what's about to happen here. Still a decent force of Valkyries going at him. With stuff in behind, so yeah, it's gonna be the Expo that takes everything down. Expo's
The wizards are trying to get to it, but they're like, I just can't do it, Captain.
Alright, he finally got the golem distracting them.
Yeah.
And
that archer tower, too, like, it's gonna be close.
the archer tower,
Yeah,
because the golem would have distracted that long enough if they could have gotten there. But yeah, he just ran a little shy there, but it was a very good defense. I love this base.
This base.
The biggest
really
hole in his plan was that he ignored that expo. You gotta any ground attack, no matter what. The first 2 targets are the expo, and the 3rd target is the queen. If one of those things survives your like initial surge, it's gonna kill your cleanup.
Absolutely. And also, like, a big thing to note is that crossbow is set to both air and ground, so it didn't even have the ground.
Right, which was probably why he didn't focus on it as much. He probably thought he would be okay.
Right. Alright, so then the last 2 things we're going to look at before we wrap this video up. I know it's been a little bit longer, but we wanted to kind of do some analysis along with the new patch and give a different look of what the future is going to be, at least for now, in Clash of Clans, because it's they definitely did change the meta drastically. So we're gonna jump into Dizzy's 2-star defense against their number 1. This is a max dude. Just that's all I gotta say. Everything is max.
All right, coming in with the queen walk.
Now, so that is still a top level strat.
Most definitely. The queen walk is still around. It still works. And he's combining it with bowlers, wall breakers, and some spells. And his super strong ass heroes. So far it looks like it's going pretty well. I believe this was a two-star, right?
But it was a low percent 2-star. Like, for me, I look at this and go, how does this not destroy the base? And then I'm just wondering when everything explodes.
She doesn't even have Inferno towers.
They're on the top there.
I was watching the wrong attack.
See, I think ultimately what screwed him here is that he went on the side with the CC, and did you see how that baby dragon just destroyed all those bowlers and is now going to destroy all those healers?
Just following everybody around.
Yeah. I think if he would have done that same exact attack, maybe on the side where the CC was, it might have gone better for him. And here's the only reason he gets the 2-star. He didn't even drop his clan castle.
Oh, nice.
Here they come waddling. That's just so
what a scumbag.
That must have been his plan the entire time. But
yeah, that is so bull.
That's actually kind of hilarious how he did that. But wow.
That is scumlord to the max, but
and the baby dragon still kicking ass the whole time.
Yeah, that baby dragon's really nice.
But yeah, I think you're right. Him trying to avoid that CC, he was clearly just going for the 2-star, but avoiding that CC might have been his demise, almost.
Yeah. All right, same guy hitting Jarrett. Here we go, 1 star. So. Let's see what the difference was.
And Jarrett's defenses are extremely strong. He's a couple of his towers are not max, but for the most part, he's got pretty strong defense. And those beautiful white walls in the middle. And he does a queen walk again. The exact same strategy, basically.
He did have to. I will note he did have to pop his queen's ability much earlier that time because. The queen is getting wrecked at the start. And
it looks like he's doing the same thing with his CC troops. He's saving them to try and pick off the town hall at the end. That is a very interesting strategy. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I know. That is kind of interesting. He's trying to clear the path to get there. And then he just thinks they're going to come in, and he's saving that last rage. Now, do you think that if he would just drop them and rage with everything else, it would help?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, I understand the strategy. It's a safe bet. It's not going to work this time because that air defense over there is going to distract them, and they aren't going to go straight for the town hall, is what I'm assuming is about to happen. Oh, no, even better. They're going for the Dark Elixir Trill. And then the other...
I just don't... Oh, you know what? He's still got a couple regular bowlers.
He's
that
gonna try to take out
create
that air defense
right.
with, I assume.
Yeah, he's gonna try and create the funnel, I think, and then he's gonna drop this.
But he used.
I just don't know if he would have used the. Yeah, he
Yep,
used the
so
rage
he's
already.
kind of screwed.
He used the rage on the healer, so they would
The
heal
warden
up
or the queen both.
And yeah, the queen was almost dead, and then he raged it, and they were able to heal the queen up more.
Yep, he's doing exactly what
It's
he
just
does.
odd.
Yep.
It's just odd. I think that if he would have raged, maybe with all that stuff that was alive in the center, it might have been able to do what he's hoping to do.
And they're
right
all going
now.
for that.
But it's
they're going for that elixir storage, and that's going to be the end of it. Not able to take out the elixir storage.
Yeah, because that Tesla tower is going to start cracking.
Oh, the Inferno.
And along with
He got two of them to go
tower.
throw a brick at the town hall. That is the weirdest 2-star strategy I've ever seen. Clearly it worked on Tasha's base, but
barely. It barely did.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's kind of a tough.
Yeah, no, I will not be trying this strategy anytime soon. I'm not about the 2-star. 3 or bust.
Yeah. I just like how these healers are able to keep this bowler alive with a Max Tesla and a crossbow at the end, and he just ran out of time.
That would have actually worked eventually. That would have eventually taken that down. Wow. That's interesting.
All right, well, that was really crazy. So there's a couple things. I usually don't show my base or anything like that, but I wanted to show the new update. We got a boat, and it kind of takes you over to another island. The one thing I would say to our guys and to anybody watching, that the reason to do this base is the gem mine. Really, like it's some free gems. You know, it's not a lot, but it's something. And we haven't had anybody, I think, yet experiment with the new buildings that you can create with the gear up option. But yeah, there's some new updates, and with the balance patches that they did, wow, it's nice that we got that our video done, because the war is officially off.
They just dropped it.
I can't even go back to the victory screen.
What timing?
Wow.
What
okay.
timing?
Well, good thing we got it done. So, anyway, that was our war, and basically, as I think to wrap it up, it's going to be more focused on ground more than it was before. The Town Hall 8, Town Hall 9 level was basically air, and then still some ground, but now it's pretty much all ground for Town Hall 9s.
Yes.
Well, that works. I think
Yeah.
that's all we got for you guys. But I'm sure we're going to get right back into a war pretty quick here. And have the next one for you guys. So on behalf of Worky and Carnage64, I'm Daddy P Not 3D, and this has been the Roundtable. You guys have a good night.